Hi everyone, this is Renan, and in this video I'm going to teach you about strings in Python. So in this video we will dive deep about it and we will talk about how to work with strings, what are their methods, and so on and so forth. Alright, so first of all I'll create a variable called name as usual, and then I will print this variable here. And the first thing that I want to talk about is about single quotes and double quotes, which one you should use. And this comes down to personal preference or project preference. Because, for example, if you are going to work in a project where people are already using single quotes or double quotes, you want to keep on using the one which is already being used in that project. So you want to keep consistency inside your code base. Alright, but if you're starting a project from scratch, then you can choose which one you prefer. This comes down really to personal preference. There are some things that you want to keep in consideration. For example, if you are using single quotes here, you won't be able to use single quotes inside your string, but you can use double quote freely. Alright, so this is one thing to consider. And the same thing if you are using double quotes for your strings, you can use single quotes inside your string freely, but you won't be able to use double quotes because then your string will give you an error, right? And actually, there is one way where you can use double quotes inside a double quote string. So one way to do that is to use the escape character. So by using this, you will be escaping the next character and Python will treat it differently. Instead, you will be able to use a double quote inside your string. So as you can see, this is working. And the same thing is true for single quote. So if you want to use it inside your string, you can escape it like this as well. Alright, so now going a little bit deeper on the escape character as well, it can be used for other things. So for example, if you want to write programming with Renan and you want to have each of these words in a different line. So how would you do that? Well, you can use the escape character for that. So you have the slash and then you can use the n, and the n means new line. So you can use it here and here. And as I save this, as you can see, each word is in a different line because of the backslash and n. And if you exchange that for t, it means tab. So you add a tab to your strings. As you can see, the space here is bigger. And you might be wondering, okay, the backslash is the escape character, but what if I want to have a backslash in my string as well? So one thing that you can do is to use two backslash, and this first backslash will escape the second one, so you will be able to print it. And alright, now I will talk to you a little bit about how you can also create a multi-line string in another way. So this is actually my preferred way to create multi-line strings, which is with the triple quotes. So with this, you can just add your enter, and then you can just use your string like this. So it's way cleaner than using the backslash n, and I really prefer this way than the previous way, so feel free to use that as well, right? So I will go back to the previous string that we had at the beginning. And now let's talk a little bit about string concatenation. So what we have been doing so far is to just concatenate it with a plus sign like this, and this will work just fine, as you can see. But if we have some more complex scenarios, for example, let's say that we have an end line, which is saying, how are you? Alright, and we want to concatenate this string, but for some reason that string does not have any space here, so we would need to add another space in here like this, and then another plus line and the end line as the end. And this can become quite messy, right? It will work, as you can see, but I will add a comma in here as well, but it's becoming quite messy. So there is a better way to do that in Python, and I will teach you this right now. So in Python, we have what is called an f string, which is short for formatted string. And to create an f string, you just need to add an f to the beginning of the string. And inside the string itself, you can add variables. So you can add the curly braces, and inside the curly braces, You can use variables and you can use functions. So for example, if I want to add my name here, you can just add my name like this, and then you can just keep on writing your text. So hi Hanan, and then a space and another placeholder like this, and as you can see, that's quite simpler than using the plus signs that I was doing before. Alright, so use F strings because they are way better way, and it's the modern way to do it in Python. Because on top of that, you can, as just said before, use methods inside the curly braces. So for example, if I want to make my name all lowercase, I can do that as well. So yeah, that's very powerful feature of the language. And since I have been talking about methods, let's explore some methods on Python as well for strings. So I have shown you the lower method, which will make my string all lowercase. But actually we also have the upper method, so if you want to make your strings all uppercase, you can do that as well. And if my string is already lowercase, you can use the capitalize method, and this will make it our first letter uppercase. So as you can see, the first letter of the string will be lowercase, and it's important to note with the capitalize is that if your string have multiple text, multiple words, you will capitalize only the first word. All right, so this is important to notice as well. And let's suppose that your string has some space after and some space before as well, and let's add some text in here. So programming with renum, and we want to remove those spaces. And what we can do in Python is use the strip method. So what the strip method will do is to remove the spaces at the beginning and at the end of a string. So if I run it, we actually can't see it like this. So I will use an F string here. So I will add this here so that we can visualize the spaces. So as you can see, there is no space at the beginning nor at the end, and the space between the words is just fine. So these ones won't be removed, but if I remove these like so, you will see that we have spaces here. So those are removed by the strip method. So I will remove this right here. And another interesting method that we have is the replace. So with this method, you can replace one word with another word. So for example, I want to replace Renan here with Carlos. And if I run this, as you can see, it was replaced successfully. And it's important to note about the replace method is that it's case sensitive. So if it's Renan with an uppercase, you will see that it won't replace it because it is not found this word. But if I use the num with a lowercase, it will replace it just fine. All right. And going back to this concept of finding a string, so if you want to understand if your string has some substring, for example, I want to know if Renan is inside my string, I can use the count method, which will give me the count of how many times I have this string inside my string. And if you want to know the exact position of where this string is, you can use the find method, which will tell me where the Renan in my string will start, which is on position 18, and I will count it so that you can understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, so it starts at count 18. And other important method that we want to know about strings, and this one is not really about strings, it's actually about other data types as well. So it's the len method, which we can use to understand what is the length of our string. and in this case it's 24. It means that it has 24 characters inside my strings. And this method is very useful, and as you can see, it's not linked to the name variable, so it's a function which you can use with other data types as well. All right, and the last thing that I want to cover with you is the string slicing. So let's suppose that we have this big string here, and we don't want the whole string, we only want the word Renan out of it. So first of all, we need to understand where the word Renan starts, and for that we can use the find method. So let's use it. Let's find where Renan starts. Yeah, let's run it, and it's at position 18. And we know that this word Renan has 5 characters. So what we can do is Python is to use the slicing syntax, and we say that we want a substring from the name string which starts at position 18 and it ends at position 23. And if we save this and we run it, we obtain Renan. So this is the start position of our string, and this is the end position of our string. All right. If you want as well, you can obtain the string that starts at position 18 until the end of your string. Then you can just omit this here, and you will obtain everything, including the spacing here. And if you want to obtain something from position 18 to the beginning, you can just use the 18 in here, and now I will obtain everything apart from the name Renan. Alright, so this can be done as well. And another thing that we can do with string slicing is to obtain the last character. So in this case it's space, so it will print anything. But if I do it like this, it will go to the second last character, which is n, as we can see. And if we want to obtain the first letter, we can just use the 6, which is the R, and then we can obtain everything from the letter R until the end of the string as well. As you can see, it's working. So this is a little bit about string slicing in Python. And this is it, everyone. So if you liked this video, don't forget to leave your like below and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified when I post new videos, and I see you in the next one.